Okay, hello and welcome. I was just about to make some bunting for my micro camper van, and I thought, why not bring you along with me and show you how I make it. So I make it using squares, and I've picked 3 fabrics which are the same weight and go together quite nicely. So there's those. They are 8 inches square. They're a bit off because I didn't iron them first. That one is a little bit more than 8 inches, but once I fold them and sew them, it'll be fine. And the reason why they're like that is because I ripped them instead of cutting them. So there we are. I've got 3 left, and all we do now is keep cutting off these little threads. We fold these diagonally. No, we don't want that. There we are. We fold them diagonally, and it's up to you. I mean, these are directional, these patterns that I've chosen, apart from the squares. So, you know, when it's hard to know which is the right side and which is the wrong side with this fabric. Yeah, when I come to turn them through, it's going to be hit and miss how where the stripes go. They're not going to go downwards, they're just going to go diagonally probably. So that's one. And I'm not bothered. It doesn't matter to me which way they go. It does matter to me which is the inside and which is the outside, but it doesn't seem to, it's not easy to tell with this fabric. So there we are. And then this one, it's easy to tell because you can see which side is the right side and which side is the wrong side. So there we are. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. So that's what I've chosen to use. I've got 9. I've only got a small area to fill, and I will go down and measure. And then I've just got this heavy bias binding tape, which I got from a project which was for making, and all I need to do with that is just fold that in half, and I probably iron that. But I'll be coming back and using the iron in a moment when I've finished sewing these. Now all I'm going to do with these is sew down one of these edges, one of these open edges there. And then I'll turn them through and show you what to do next. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go away. In fact, I'm going to bring you to the sewing machine and see how that works, and I'm just going to sew down one of these open edges. Okay. So here we are at the sewing machine. I've started to attach the flags, and I'm just attaching them all in one go. Just to time. Now this is quite noisy. So all you do is just add the next one now. I just go back a couple of stitches, and then just add the next one. Reverse. do my little reverse on that one, but I'm sure I don't have to do that. And I can just tell where these are just very slightly not square, these squares. And as I said earlier, that's because it's because am I out of thread? Yeah. Okay, we're out of thread. I'll just put a fresh bobbin in and I'll come back to you. So excuse the noise, I've only got one more to do after this, and then I'll take you to the back to the outfit. Now I haven't measured these in any way, shape or form. I've just made my seam the width of this half of the pressure foot. Now when you do seams you can use these measurements here, but I didn't want to have anything to trim off, so I've just used that that pressure foot as my guide. So this is the last one, so we'll just finish this off. And there we are. And they're all attached by a little piece of stitched thread. All we have to do now is to just snip them apart. One, two, three. Those are three different colours. And then this one. One. Two. And then this one didn't, this one was when the thread ran out. So that's three of those. There should be three left here. So you've got one, two, and the last one here, three. Okay, so all we need to do now is turn these through. I'll just put the iron on. And iron them. Now we just want to snip the corner here, and we've got to be very careful not to snip our stitches. So I'm going to put my finger on my thumb on my stitches, and I'm just going to snip across there like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that with all of them. And all I'm doing is taking out a little bit of bulk for when I come to turn them through. so I can get that decent point for the bottom of my flag. That's the one where I didn't that's the one where I didn't go back. I didn't do my back stitch, so let's fingers crossed that one's all right. Right, so what I'm going to do now is turn them through. Now, if this is a dress or something, I'd be pulling that apart and opening out my seam, but I'm not going to do that with this. No, there we are. And there it is, and you can see my stripes are diagonal on that one. Where's my scissors? Now, be very careful when you poke this through. And just be very, very careful. Just poke it there to give you a point. There we are. So, close enough. Let me put you here. That'll be easier. Then you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing. There we are. So, yeah, so that's your, you do need to flatten that out a bit underneath there, that seam. There we are. Okay. I've never worked on here with this GoPro before, so I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be, but I'm just checking to make sure. And then that's going under there. Now, as you can see, because my squares weren't perfect, I've got a bit of an overlap there, which I could trim. In fact, I will trim because it'll make life easier. There we are. So this is going inside this flap like that, and then you just make that as like a little envelope, as neat as you can. And then this is going to go over here, so you're not going to see any of that, hopefully. Yeah, you are going to see that, so I've got to make that go inside a little bit more. Now, never ever made these before, so I'm learning as I go, to be honest. And I think next time I'll use my cutting board and my circular cutter, and I'll make sure that my squares are definitely 8 inches. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what it's going to look like. Can you see? Yes, you can. That's what they're going to look like when they're finished. So let's go ahead and fold some of these up. The other thing you could do, if you wanted to, is you could top stitch them. You could top stitch down these like that, but I'm not going to. Mine are just for the camper van, so, you know, not that I want them to look tatty or anything, but, you know, I think this is fine as it is. So let's move everything away. So that's one. Oops, excuse me, drop those on the floor. Let's do another one, and then I'll come back to you when I've got a few made. that in there being, I can't see what you can see, so I have to just stretch my head around there while I'm doing this. There we are. That's okay. Just pop that through a little bit more. So this time when I do my trimming, I'm just going to trim like this. I'm going to trim along there. Like that. There we are, that's better. That's much better now. So we'll just iron that. I've got a steam iron on because this is it's a heavy, it's like a linen. It's not a polycotton or anything, it's very much like a linen. Oh, that's better, isn't it? Much better, there we are. Yeah, that's a much better one. There we are. Okay, so I'll do the third one and then I'll come back to you when I've got all 9 completed. Now this is a slightly different weight of fabric. This could very well be a polycotton. I don't know. Jess is at my feet, waiting for a tea, aren't you, Jess? But I'm not rushing because she had some chicken at lunchtime, so she's not starving. And then that goes in there. There we are. Okay, so that's 3 done. So I'll come back to you when I've got 9 of them. Okay. Okay, so I've done 2, 4, 6, 7. I'll just come back to you now at the end. Now you can see now I've got an overlap there, so I'm just going to trim this so they are both exactly the same, and that'll give me a nice neat top. There we are. Pull those through, pop my scissors in, and again very carefully so that my scissors don't come through the end. I'm just going to neatly pop that out like that. There we are. Oops. A little move there. And then tuck this in. There we are. It's been a bit awkward, that one. I'm just going to trim that off there. And because this isn't an exam, I'm not too bothered about perfection here. Okay, number 8, and the last one, number 9. And once again, I'm just going to trim this down a little bit. And it's only a little tiny bit on this one. There we are. Turn this through. I have to keep checking that because the the view is behind me, and whilst I could have a front screen view, it wouldn't help me because my my lens and my front screen are pointing downwards towards the ironing board, so it wouldn't help me. And yeah, I wouldn't be able to see from the front screen. Right, last one, tuck that in. There we are. And then I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to feed my little doggy. I've got a thing there, but I'm going to leave it because otherwise I'll have to undo the whole thing and iron it again. Yeah, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to feed my little dog. I'm going to measure the back of my camper van and see how much of this I need. My my tape, or this is wide bias binding, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to iron it so it's, ooh, that steam's hot. Yeah, I'm just going to iron it so it's in half, which will make my life a lot easier because we don't have to use it as we would a normal bias binding. All we're going to do, I mean, you can do this with ordinary tape. In fact, I think you can get tape that's actually called bunting tape, and all it is about an inch. Well, that's about an inch, isn't it? It's about an inch wide, and it's got no raw edges, and you just fold that in half and use that. But I mean, if you want it neat and tidy, you're still going to have to iron it in half. Now, as I say, I didn't buy this. It came with a kit, and I didn't finish that project. So, in fact, it was a Jubilee kit, and I completed the Zoom, but I didn't actually finish the project. So, yeah. So I've got this left, and I decided I would use it for these flags. So there we are. Waste not, want not. And I did have some cotton tape which I thought of using, but I thought no, well, I'll use this up, and it's decent colour, isn't it? Goes quite well. So I'm going to use all of it. Now, there are actually set widths that you should leave between each flag, but I don't know what they are. I can find out before I come back to you, and then we'll decide if that's what we want for this particular project. Got a bit of a crease there. Come to the end nearly now. It's hot, burning my fingers. So I've done that. I've done these, all 9 of them, and I will come back to you in what will be for you less than a second probably. Okay. I've measured, and I could, if I keep to the measurement of the back of the tailgate, I'm only going to be able to get 7 flags in. So I'm going to make it, I've got enough tape, I am going to put the 9 flags in. Now, there is a distance that you're supposed to leave, but I'm only going to leave an inch between my flags, and I am going to put the 9 in. So I've already added an inch to the distance, which is 45 inches of my tailgate. So I'm just going to put these in. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, I'm going to start with that middle one. I've actually changed the order now of the colours, because I was that colour, then that colour, then that colour. Right, that colour, then that colour, then that colour, and then the dark, the check, and the light. That's what I'm going to do. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to one, two, three, four. I'm going to start at the middle, and I'm going to pin them in place. So let's start with this one. Right, it's upside down, isn't it? There it is. Right, so let's get this tape. Now where those pins are, that is the edge of my, that is my tailgate, the distance of my tailgate plus 1 inch, which I allowed for droop because I didn't want it to be tight. But they don't really matter now, because I'm just going to put the 9 flags on, and so that's the centre there. And put an inch in between each one. Okay, so there's the centre. That's going there. Like that. Just give yourself a bit of room so you can fold. And then just put 1 pin in. And that'll do. And then, yeah, 1 inch, and then the next one. Right, where's my ruler? Oh. Okay, so 1 inch from point to point. So this one's the next colour, because that's the start going dark. Yeah, and this is the last one. So that's going in there. Right, a little bit more. Is that an inch? Yeah, that's an inch. Now, I haven't got a lot of pins, which is why I don't know where the pins have gone. I'm just using these few that I've got, which is why I should be putting 2 pins in at least, really, but I just probably will run out of pins before I get to the end. That's better with 2 pins in. That's much better. Feels nice and sturdy now. That's it. So you can see how that's going. So that's the last colour. So it's check and then dark blue. It's gone very warm this evening. We're at about 5 p.m. In the UK, and yeah, it's gone really warm, and I've got washing on the line still, and it's been a warm and windy day, but I put the washing out really early. I was expecting to have brought it in by now because the forecast was for rain this afternoon, and it didn't happen. So yeah, right, so that's 3 colours, but this is the start of the 3 colours, which is probably a bit confusing now for you, but remember we started in the middle, so we're working backwards. Is that an inch? That's much more than an inch, isn't it? Okay. Right, so I'll come back to you when I've got all of these attached. Okay. Close to the bottom edge, this is the open edge, so as close as you can get to that without coming off the edge. So I'm just going to have a little back, oops, come up the end there. Right, so I am going to be a little bit more careful. Let's just have a look. Oh yeah, that's fine. So I'm just going to be careful and just take my time. Take out the first pin. Now this is where you're going to have to keep tight hold of that flag before you get on it. Now I've got a foot pedal on my machine. I have noticed when I've been watching people that they have an automatic system which automates the speed of as you're going along, but my machine doesn't do that. And what I'm hoping and praying is that I don't run out of thread, because when I stopped last time, it hadn't, the bottom spool hadn't actually run out of thread, it had just broken. So fingers crossed, because I don't want to have to, I really don't want to have to join halfway along. Now I'm keeping you going, but feel free to fast forward if you want to. That didn't slip then. Thought that one had slipped, but it seems alright. Gap looks a bit bigger than an inch. I'm sure when they're flapping in the breeze nobody's going to notice. One of my gaps is slightly bigger than an inch. Number 9, so there we are. I think they're absolutely fabulous. I absolutely love them. Now, rather than take you back to the ironing board to show them to you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you down to the car and I'm going to tie them up and show you them down there. Well, there they are. I mean, to be honest, they are too long, but I'm not sure if these flags are the ones that are going to go here. I'm going to make some more. Now, these might go on my awning, but they're fab, aren't they? They're absolutely fabulous and I love them, and you can see how lovely they are blowing away in the breeze. So yeah, I'm really pleased with them. So that's just a little project. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.